Morning guys, thanks for clicking on the video. Today it's time to do the second oil change on the Aprilia SR GT 125. Okay, so the second oil change according to the manual should be done at 6,000 miles. But as anyone who follows my videos knows, I'm not a big high roller on this. I use it for, small scale commuting, shopping trips, that sort of thing. Occasionally longer distance, but not very often. So I've racked up 2,500 miles at the moment. So I suppose the question is, why would I be doing an oil change now? Well, the reason is because I've had the bike for 2 years. I bought it in August 22. In February 23, I did the first oil change at 600 miles. Obviously, it gets a bit of issues over the winter if we have bad weather. And it's now August 24, so that is 2 years of ownership, so it's just passing out a warranty. And although it's only done 2,500 miles, I thought I'd do an oil and filter change just to keep it, keep it running smoothly and everything going okay. So I'm going to do that today, show you what I've got. There's 1 or 2 changes since my last oil filter change, which of course, as you know, I got covered in oil and getting the filter off was a bit of a nightmare. So I'm hopefully going to avoid that this time. I'll show you what I've got and then we'll take the bike outside, give it a little start up, let it run for a few minutes to warm the oil up and take it from there. So here are the essentials for the job. 1 new Piaggio branded oil filter. I mean, you can get cheaper versions of this, but personally, this was only like 15 quid. So for the sake of £15, I'd rather put on the same one the bike came with. Pluto Line scooter oil, 4-stroke eco, OW30. That's the oil the manual recommends for the climate I live in. It's slightly different, I think, if you live in a colder climate or a warmer climate, one of the two anyway. It's a slightly different spec, but for UK, Scotland, that's what we're using. 24mm low profile socket to take off the drain bolt. I had one of these last time, I let it to a friend, so he's going to hang on to that, and I've just bought a new set. This was about a tenner on eBay. It's got different sizes, so may come in handy for other things in the future. And after all the wrestling and the carry on and getting the filter off last time, I decided to splash out and buy a proper Bozzetti filter remover for the engine on this bike, for a Piaggio 125 to 300cc. A bit difficult to track this down in the UK. There was a lot of European sellers with it, but of course they ended up the postage was more than the unit. This came from Ped Parts in the UK. I think it was about £15 for the unit and 3 or 4 quid for the postage, so that was quite good, a lot cheaper than trying to get one from Europe. So that's the things we need. We're going to, as I say, take the bike out now, just let it run for a few minutes, warm it up, and then we will change the oil and the filter. Right, so just let the bike sit on idle for a few minutes, and then we will take out the dipstick. And under here, if you didn't see my last video, it's a bit awkward to get to. The filter and the drain bolt. So both of them are going to come out. The drain bolt's quite awkward because the oil goes everywhere, but I think I've got something this time that should make it a bit easier. Okay, so took the drain bolt out, which is now probably somewhere in the oil. Got it draining into the bucket here. Low profile socket, very useful for this. I've put just a towel round the side stand, the centre stand, because it's really awkward to get into. As you can see, it's, at least I hope you can see, it's slowly almost all out. So now we want to get out the filter in here. Should have brought a pair of pliers, so it would have been easier. That's it. There's no way of doing this in a clean manner, is there? There we go, filter out and into the oil. Let me rescue that in a minute. And yes, I know I should have gloves on probably for doing this, but of course, what's the one thing I forgot to get? Was gloves. Ah, well, I'm sure it's not going to kill me. Okay, so that's the oil pretty much stopped draining. I've just put a little old metal tub under that just to catch the last few drops, and then we can get the filter out. It's worth giving the bike a little tip if you can. Just runs out any, but that's pretty much stopped, so we'll let that go for another few seconds and then we'll just put the filter, which is here. I've given this a wee clean up, but as you can see it's in perfect condition, and put the bolt back on, seal it up, and then we'll take the actual the main filter off once we've tidied this up a bit. Okay, so I've given the filter a little clean and a wipe. There's nothing really on it, looks anything to worry about, so we'll pop that back in. Like so, and drain bolt back on. Now, I have to admit I don't know the exact torque settings for this, so just nice and tight. As always in Edinburgh, it's windy today, which doesn't help doing this, but right. Yeah. Okay, that's on nice and tight. Check that out. And we can now use our Bozzetti filter wrench to hopefully take this off with far less trouble than we had last time. And then again, maybe not. It's not dripping on that at all. Am I going to have to go back to my... that's just not... Oh well, so much for the Bozzetti filter wrench. That isn't doing anything. Right, I'll probably have to go back to what I used last time. See if I can get it off of that. Okay, back in a minute. Well, so much for Bozzetti special tools to get your oil filter out. Finally got it out, but as you can see, I ended up having to use a set of grips to remove it. That was really in tight. Now it's possible I put it in a bit too tight last time, so we'll maybe put it in slightly less secure, but it wasn't that tight because I remember being careful with it, but that was a swing to get out again. As I say, the Bozzetti tool wouldn't grip it at all, not until it was loose of course, then it was a great help. I tried even the Halfords, which I've got a line about here somewhere, the Halfords tool that I used last time on my last video with a bit of rubber, which did get it out last time, that wouldn't budge it. So at the end I just had to attack it, I'm afraid, with a set of grips. But the good news is it's out. We can tidy up and put the new one in. Okay, new filter on. It just tightens on to the centre spindle. Right, let's use the Bozzetti tool. It certainly works when it's nice and loose, which isn't quite what you wanted, but anyway. So what we'll do is we'll do this up Bozzetti tight, and then if I change the filter again in the future, which no doubt I will at some point if I still own the bike, should admit, just to remind you, put a bit of oil around the rubber ring before you attach it. It does actually tighten it up pretty well, I'll give it that. Maybe it was just over tight. See, there you go, it's slipping on the fins it's supposed to hold, and that's as tight as it'll go. So
Do I want to tighten that up a bit more? I probably do, but I'm going to use the Halfords thing just to give it a wee extra tighten up. That's on pretty tight. I think that'll do. I don't want to puncture the new one. Right, okay, new filter on. Now, we've got to fill up with 1.3 litres of fresh oil and we should be good to go. Okay, so I've put the 1300ml of oil in. As I said last time, just do it very, very slowly, because if you try and rush, it's just going to back up out the hole and leak out at you. So just take your time, do it slowly. 1300ml in. That should be oil change and filter change done. Let's have a quick look at the filter under here. Yeah, that's okay. Nothing leaking out, so we're good to go. Excellent. Okay, that's me back in the house, all changed, ready to enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks as always for watching, guys. Any comments, let me know. It was a bit easier than last time, but that filter is a horror story. Anyway, thanks very much. All the best. Cheers. Bye.